So welcome to the channel. It's the 1st of January 2026 and this is the first video of many in basically tracking my journey and the progress towards my goal of hitting 10k a month with my consulting business. So for those of you that know me, well, you know me, you may have known some of the progress and the story before this. And for those of you that don't, my name's Kieran. I've been running this consulting agency for the last 4 months. I specialise in helping beauty businesses and aesthetic clinics basically to grow via various marketing methods and practices, and yeah, I'm trying to get it to 10k a month. So this video basically serves two purposes. The first is massive accountability factors basically for me. I'm going to be recording one of these videos every single day, so you can check back on the channel, there will be one on here for every single day of this year to basically track my journey, track my progress and everything that I'm doing to get towards that goal. And this kind of leads into the second, which is to show to anybody that might be potentially looking to get into the space, to basically try and inspire and show you what is necessary to be able to get to a good space with it, and to show not just the business but my entire life and how I'm managing all the different factors in it and how I'm trying to get ultimately to that goal. So to start with kind of day one stats, I started this business 4 months ago, and in those 4 months a lot has happened, but from the start I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I didn't have a clue on what was the service I was supposed to be kind of providing for any clients that decided to work with me. I didn't know how to reach those businesses that I wanted to work with. I didn't know anything about anything that I was doing. So I kind of very much was starting from scratch. I started by cold calling lots of different businesses with the aim of trying to get them on a sales call. I then didn't have a clue how to try and convert someone on that sales call, or what the hell I was supposed to say to them. But I went through this for just the first 3 weeks to try and work out and get into a rhythm exactly what I was supposed to do and what these business owners would say to me when I'm like cold calling them, a bit nervous, being like, like you need more clients or something, and just see what would happen. In a sense, I was very new to it. About 3 weeks in, I'd been able to secure a few sales calls, have people that were seriously looking to solve the problem that I was suggesting that I could solve. Now, I didn't know whether I could solve it or not yet. I hadn't kind of got that part of the puzzle, but I could realise that, just from, 3 weeks of experience in it, that there was a clear problem there that needed solving, and it was something that if I could find that missing puzzle piece, I'd be able to create a lot of value in the space. So about 3 weeks in, I actually started working with a mentor. He's someone that actually grew up very locally to me, and that was doing very well in the space. Nowadays doing much, much higher than what my goal is in this video series, and has managed to move himself out to Dubai at 23 years old, really impressive stuff. So I started working with him for 3 months, and in that time I saw, massive progress. I was able to get a couple of clients on, free trials to begin with, and then paid later in the second month with them. And I was able to also get them incredible results. With one of the clinics that I worked with, I was able to add an additional 4.5 grand in bookings in 18 days, I believe it was, of working together just in the first 18 days. That's what I was able to produce. And in this space, and I guess in business more generally, the amount of revenue that you bring in is kind of attached to the leverage and the value that you're able to add to somebody else. This isn't just a one-time product that I'm trying to sell to somebody. This is a transformation of their business and growth to it. So with that example of an extra 4.5 grand, that came from an investment of less than £200 into the marketing platforms and the ads that I was running for that clinic. So in a way you could say, oh, well, instead of spending £180 on the ads, how about if they spent just under 2 grand? That would have got back 45 grand, not 4.5. So then you start realizing the kind of leverage about it and what's possible within the space. And it kind of really opened my eyes to what was possible and where I could get to and everything. Now, during this time, I had just completed my first year of university, and to be honest, I wasn't very happy there. I didn't really enjoy it, and owning and running my own business has kind of been a goal of mine since I was 11 years old. And it's something that while I was doing that year of university and not enjoying it, it just kept like creeping back in my head and thinking, am I really doing what I want to? And is it worth it when I don't believe that, even if you see university as an investment, I don't believe that the salaries and the jobs at the end of my degree were that impressive. And I also had to, spend 4 years doing the degree and getting into a lot of student debt to do it. Did it add up, given the fact that I was very unhappy there as well? And over time, I kind of looked at both sides of it and decided that no, it wasn't worth it because of what was possible within this space and how much I was enjoying doing it as well. So ultimately, I made the decision to take this year out of university. So we're about 3 months into that time. Obviously, it would have been from like September, October time, which would have just been a couple of months in from running the business from the start anyway. But yeah, I made that decision. Now, that was definitely a hard decision to make because I think anytime you're thinking about making any decision and going away from kind of like the traditional path can be incredibly scary. Whether or not the career prospects looked that good, it would have been so much easier for me to have, I would have done school, got my A-levels, went and got the degree, got some sort of job and started my career and tried working my way up the ladder that way. That's just the way it's done. And it was incredibly scary, and it also hurt a lot to be thinking, I can't do that. Because I knew that what it would mean is a life of a lot of difficulty in the short term for potential long-term, crazy results. And that's kind of where I'm at now. So during my first year at uni, I signed a lease on a house, thinking obviously I would be going into second year and obviously needing somewhere to stay. Not knowing that obviously I'd make this decision to start my own business and go full on it. And obviously that became a big part of the decision around, well, completely not linked to university at all. I've also got this house. So there was kind of two options. I could have tried to look for someone to replace my space in the house basically before term started, or add this to the experience of running my own business and growing up a bit basically. And ultimately I made that decision to stay here. So I turned up here in Leamington Spa, which is about 150 miles away from where I'm from. And I didn't have a job, I didn't have any way of basically, I had very limited savings, and the thought of obviously, rent, bills, all costs of just life in general to pay going forth from there. And that's when I realised, damn, this year is going to be difficult because I put a lot of pressure on myself. So in the last 3 months of living here, I was able to initially get a job at Domino's because I worked there before. And I worked there for about a month and a half. But obviously if the opportunity was there, I want something that was a bit higher pay, so I didn't need to do as many hours to get the same money, etc., etc. So I was able to actually secure a job at Aldi, which is where I'm working now. Very good shift patterns, quite good pay, and that's meant that my monthly income increased straight away, and it also meant that I was able to put more money away a month into the business and investing more into myself, which has been amazing. So yeah, in a sense, that's kind of day one stats. I work 20 hours a week at Aldi. I then work, basically all the other hours of the day in the business, trying to grow it, trying to get it to where I want it to be. And then obviously the end goal is so that once I kind of hit those higher figures and increase my income that way, I'll be able to save up enough of a buffer to allow me to not need to work at Aldi anymore. And then I can decide basically what comes next. So yeah, this has kind of been the intro video, the first day of the year. The introduction to this series. from day 2 and the next days that you'll see coming from this, you'll be seeing how, on a daily basis, how I'm going to be doing that. What are the steps that I need to take to be able to get to this goal? Why is it important? Why that number specifically? Yeah, basically how I'm going to do it. The video won't always be me just like standing here talking at you. It's going to be a concoction of different things, of me filming different things that I'm doing, whether it be going off to my Audi shift, being here, working away on my laptop, taking calls with clients, etc., etc. So you'll be able to see everything that goes into basically the daily life of trying to grow this business and get it to where it needs to be. So yeah, that's all for today, but stay tuned, subscribe and all that. And yeah, come back tomorrow to see some more about the specifics of how I'm going to do this.